Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, and we've got Klazart here as well again, and we're going to be doing Game 3 of Jangbi versus Luxury, and Diggity is listening in the wings. He's already seen this. He went to a live party and got to see it live. Those are always fun, but he's already seen the game, so he's not going to do any commentating because he knows what happened and might inadvertently say something.
Oh, and everyone go to the OSL party, April 3rd, finals. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, April 3rd, there's an OSL party.
I'll plug this as much as
in the
possible.
San Diego area, PM
San
Diggity
Diego.
for details.
Are you sure it's on April 1st? In the Hudson?
I'm pretty sure it's April 3rd.
Isn't it April 6th?
Because April 1st would be another party that's happening someplace else.
Just kidding.
That no one's invited to. Sorry, go ahead.
I think he's trying to imply it's an April Fool's joke of some kind, perhaps. Anyway, currently on the menu, though, is the Lost Saga MSL 2009 finals between Luxury and Jangbi. Both of these guys tied at one game apiece, fighting, clawing at each other's throats, desperately trying to claim their first title and some recognition in the pro scene as actually a title holder. Jangbi's got a couple silvers. Luxury has some thirds and a World Cyber Games. So very hotly contested match here. Luxury owning the crap out of Jangbi in Game 1. Jangbi owning the crap out of Luxury in Game 2. So it'll be interesting to see who owns the crap in this game, the third game on Destination.
Yeah, this is now effectively a best of 3 because it's 1-1. So that takes the first 2 games out of the equation. We're back to square one, and it's just a matter of confidence how these two players are feeling right now. Luxury definitely had the momentum after Game 1, after the way he dominated that, but Jangbi pulled it back. And I have to say, I would be favoring Jangbi right now because Luxury's win was more of a build order win, whereas Jangbi, yes, he did have a slight build order advantage, but I felt that he microed really well, and I felt that Luxury made a few tactical errors. So that's going to be playing on Luxury's mind, and that's going to be something that Jangbi can potentially exploit. On the other hand, this is Destination, and you always see some interesting StarCraft on this, so I'm looking forward to this matchup. And I'm just hoping this one goes down to the wire. We've had too many best of 5s recently that have ended like 3-0, and we've had too many best of 3s that have ended 2-0. We need more games to go down to the wire, and especially if this is because this is a finals. That being said, we haven't had that epic game yet where both players have taken it down to the wire, where it's been really close right to the end, and you just don't know who's going to win till the very last second. In the previous game, you could tell pretty much that Jangbi was ahead, and he was consistently building his lead throughout the game. In Game 1, Luxury had a clear advantage from the start, so we haven't really had that epic matchup that usually you hope would grace the sort of level that you expect to make it into the finals. Nevertheless, I'm looking forward to this. Luxury at 6 o'clock in green, and Jangbi at the top at 12 o'clock. I'm not sure about his colors.
Yeah, he's orange, and hopefully maybe we'll see that kind of a game on this map, since this is Destination. You've got those ramps, or not ramps, but bridges all over the place, so it can be really easy for both sides to defend, and you can end up with a longer game that way because it's so hard to break across the other person's bridges into their base or into their half of the map, that sort of thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna agree with you that Jangbi, I think I'm gonna favor him here, since he really, that first game he was a little bit off. He had a little bit of a build order disadvantage as well, but he he really pulled it together in Game 2, and in Game 2 he just played really well. His micro was on. He was a little bit lacking in Game 1, but the second game he must have said to himself in between games, okay, I can do this, just gotta pull it together and focus, and he really did focus it in. Whereas Luxury, one of the things I've always noticed about him, I know I've said this a few times already in this cast, but I'll say it again, he can be a little bit sloppy sometimes. And it's evidenced in the fact that occasionally he'll just throw away units that, when you're a top-class player, you're just not supposed to throw away units. I think one of the reasons he got out of the OSL, and this is arguable, but part of his play style included throwing away 2 control groups of Mutalisks against 2 control groups of Medic Marines, and just A-moving them instead of microing them, and just destroying his own units for no reason at all. And that's kind of what he did with his Ultras and Lings, just throwing them into storm range of Jangbi. Jangbi's sitting a probe around the back here. Possibly, I don't know if he's going to try and mine out. It looks like from his positioning he's going to set up a proxy back here or something like that. He's got his forge at his base, and he's got a nexus going up. No, he's got a cannon. Wait, I don't think it's blocking the nexus, actually. Never mind, I thought it was blocking his nexus. But he's got 2 cannons at his expansion, as if he's going to set up for an expand. And he's got a probe in that bottom left corner. I'm really curious to see what that probe is for. Maybe he's going to mine out that mineral patch the famous mineral patch on Destination and try and sneak some troops in the back eventually. Maybe that probe is there for an eventual plan to put DTs behind there like later in the game, and it's all just a long-term plan of his or something like that. I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was also a scouting probe. Sometimes you do see on Destination players putting a drone or a probe onto one of the side expansions and waiting for the main military force of their opponent to go past before sneaking back in and getting the scout in. But the fact that that probe isn't moving suggests probably that that isn't the case. Now Luxury's got his Zerglings up towards Jangbi's base, but Jangbi's quite well defended. He's got some probes out as well. He's anticipated this. He's getting his gateway up, and Jangbi's going to be in a good position. So once again, Jangbi getting that forge, and Luxury's coming with more probes again. Luxury producing a lot of Zerglings. I'm not sure this is going to be a really smart one. I'm not sure this is going to pay off for him. Luxury's now coming in, trying to get a surround on those cannons. Jangbi doesn't seem to have enough probes. He's going to try and block the rank. Jangbi has enough probes to block the rank, and Luxury's almost through. Luxury gets most of his Zerglings through. Disaster for Jangbi. He wasn't able to block with his probes. He was perhaps a little bit circumspect. Maybe that gateway went down too late. He had to know what Luxury was doing. I guess he just didn't expect Luxury to commit so early. And now Jangbi's main is in trouble. He is building a gateway. He's trying to put a pylon down as well. Luxury, meanwhile, trying to find probes to snipe. And he should really just try and focus on the Nexus to force Jangbi to pull those probes off the line. He's got more than enough Zerglings there to do significant damage. He's just wasting time right now. He needs to do some more damage. Now he's trying to attack the pylon. Jangbi doing a great job of defending with the probes. But meanwhile, all of those probes, about almost a full control group of them, are not mining. Jangbi with some good micro holding Luxury at bay. Luxury with still 6 Zerglings in Jangbi's base, and he really should be doing a lot more damage. Continue to try and take that pylon down to maybe hurt his opponent's Sai, but there's going to be a Zealot popping out anytime soon, and that Zealot with probe support is probably going to take those Zerglings down. Jangbi continues to defend very well. Luxury meanwhile has, I think that was just as natural he was taking. I'm not sure if he tried to put a third hatchery down as well. And Luxury continues to try and focus out, and Jangbi has only got sure probes buying this entire time, so even if Luxury isn't doing a lot of damage, he's really slowing his opponent, and a Zealot still has to pop out. Now that probe, I think that was hidden, either that or a second probe that's been sent out has gone and gotten the scout off, and Luxury doing a good job just running with the Zerglings, doing a little bit of damage, pulling out, allowing their health to regenerate from the probes. It looks like he's going to corner one more probe and take it down, and Jangbi is really struggling here. He's fighting hard, but Luxury continues to keep those probes, and finally Jangbi commits to an attack because the Zealot is coming. Luxury loses 3 of his probes, but he's 3 of his Zerglings, but he's killed about 4 or 5 probes at least, and that's going to hurt Jangbi a lot because he lost a lot of mining time, he's lost a lot of probes, and any advantage he would have gained from that fast expand has been, I think, effectively neutralized by Luxury, who is now already teching to lair, and he has indeed got that third hatchery down, and Jangbi is just not going to have the resources to put any pressure on Luxury, and Luxury is going to be getting Mutalisk in there pretty soon, or even he might go for Hydra Ling from 3 base, and I'm not sure. No, he's putting the Spire down, so I'm not sure how effective a position Jangbi is going to be in to defend this. He's got to be anticipating the Mutalisk. He's already got 3 cannons at the natural, and you'd anticipate him putting a couple more down at his main.
Yeah, wow, that was crazy, and Luxury definitely doing a lot of economic damage just by keeping those probes off the line for so long. It is unfortunate for him that he didn't get any more kills in there. He didn't really do a lot of actual physical damage with those Zerglings, really, in the long run. I mean, he had like 8 Zerglings in there, and he killed maybe 3 probes the whole time. So not a whole lot done there. And you saw Jangbi, as soon as that attack was repulsed, he knew, he had that sense behind him. He knew he was really behind in tech, and he immediately put down the assimilator to try and get his tech going. He's got the core going down as well, but he's not gonna have any tech out basically when these Mutalisks come out, or assuming that he might make Mutalisks to try and take advantage of the fact that Jangbi doesn't have anything in his base right now. He could theoretically not get Mutalisks, but I don't know. Just by Luxury style, that's what I'm kind of expecting him to do. Now, Jangbi did have a probe in his base earlier. I'm not sure if it died before he saw this Spire or before he saw what was going on or not. That secret probe, like you said, did come around after Luxury's forces were in his base and go in for a scout. Okay, so the Spire is up. I'm really curious to see what he makes. If he makes Mutalisks, Jangbi is doomed because he doesn't know this is coming and he doesn't have any cannons in his main. I don't know if he expected this quick of tech because he just he doesn't have anything in his main. His Stargate is going to come up right as the Mutalisks pop, if it is Mutalisks, and he's gonna have maybe 1 Corsair to try and deal with this. Cannon finally going on and a second Stargate, but I think it's going to be too late if these are mutas, and we're going to see in just a moment. By the fact that those larvae are taking a while to pop, that's what I'm kind of expecting. But he is putting a den now down for that follow-up. So we're going to see in just a moment what he's got out there. Finally, the second cannon going down. So I guess theoretically, you know, if Luxury delays this attack, Jangbi could theoretically defend it. But it depends on how aggressive Luxury is going to be here.
I think Luxury might be doing something really clever here and possibly not producing too many Mutalisks and just
Yeah.
putting out a couple of Scourge because he's by having that Spire, and I think Jangbi did scout that Spire. I think Jangbi does know about that Spire. Jangbi's been forced to put down so many more buildings. He's been forced to put down dual Stargates, possibly because he feels he's so far behind that he needs to catch up. And Jangbi has not produced a single Mutalisk. This is brilliant.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I kept
Luxury has
waiting
not
for
produced a
them to
single
pop
Mutalisk.
out.
And this is absolute right. This is brilliance by Luxury because Jangbi has now committed a lot of resources into this kind of air to air battle, and Luxury hasn't produced that, and I had a hint of that when that fourth hatchery went down. So Luxury now is just sending a couple of Scourges out, and Luxury has actually taken that time to further cement his economic advantage, and he's pretty soon, I think, he's going to overwhelm Jangbi just with Hydra Ling, because Jangbi's in no position. Jangbi's committed his resources to those 2 Stargates, and that's a lot of gas that he spent on those 2 Stargates, so he can put out as many, and remember, and Luxury's anticipated this because he's put the Evil Chamber down, so he's going to have Spore Colonies to defend his Overlords, so it doesn't matter, he can pump as many Corsairs as he wants. He's not going to have a Reaver or a Templar or any other tech to defend against Luxury's attack on his front door, and his front door is just going to barrel down. The only thing that Jangbi can hope for is that if he can kill some Overlords and slow down, and that's indeed what Luxury is doing. He's going to go for the Hyderling follow-up, and he's just going to tear this opening down, and he's going to tear Jangbi a new one here, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I should have realized when I saw the Evo Chamber going down that he was going to be switching a little bit quicker, but oftentimes Zerg players they'll go for the tech at the same time they make the Mutalisk, so that way they can follow up quickly and switch back and forth and that sort of thing. But yeah, really genius by Luxury, fooling Jangbi, and Jangbi's going to have a lot of Corsairs in the air, but he's not going to have any. I mean, he's not going to have anything to deal with these Hydras at all. He's got a couple Zealots on the ground, and less Zealots now that Luxury caught him off guard with those Zerglings and picked off a couple, and a single Dragoon. And at this point, Luxury has pumped out so many drones that he's just going to be able to really, really, really put out a ton of Hydralisks and maybe a few Zerglings as well from those hatcheries that he has down now. And he's probably just going to go all in, not all in the sense that it's a irrecoverable strategy, but all in the fact that he's just going to make a ton of Hydralisks from all of his hatcheries for a while and just barrel down Jangbi's front door. And Jangbi actually preempting. No, he's not preempting. Here's the attack going in. That's the classic response of when you're going to get owned, is to send your Corsairs out in a desperate attempt to distract, but it's not going to work. There's Hydralisks all up in there. Jangbi doesn't have any tech to deal with this at all. GG coming from Jangbi. So Luxury, with some brilliant mind games there, taking game 3 in spectacular fashion, just completely overrunning Jangbi. And really, it is all owed to those early Zerglings that got in there and did so much time distracting Jangbi. There was no chance for him to get tech up in time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take any credit away from Luxury because he did play some clever mind games and he did outthink Jangbi, or so it seemed, but let's not forget the fact that Jangbi was so far behind, as you said, after that initial attack with the Zerglings, that it was pretty much a hopeless situation. It was just a question of how long it would take for him to lose that game, because at this level, pro gamers rarely make a mistake that gives up such an overwhelming advantage as Luxury had. So not a surprise there, the outcome of that game ultimately after the opening of the 2 players. But all credit to Luxury. I really thought he was making a stupid move with those Zerglings. I thought there was no way he was going to break it down, and he was committing resources, but it worked, and it's worked for him twice now out of 3 games, and it's given him a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, every game that he's managed to get that run by in or do some damage with those early speedlings, he's taken the game. And so I mean, I guess it's not surprising that he goes for 9 pool almost every single game. And no matter what matchup, he almost always goes 9 pool. As a matter of fact, which I'm actually kind of surprised that Jangbi hasn't decided. Well, I mean, it's something that it's a very safe build, and so it's something that you can't really take advantage of, even if you know it's going to happen. It just means you have to put down those cannons. The game progresses from there. So anyway, moving on to game 4. Luxury has a 2-1 advantage now. If Luxury takes game 4, he will be the MSL champion. But Jangbi is not out of this yet. He has shown that he has the ability to come back from a blow and a loss and bring it home and win the next game. So hopefully he'll be able to bring it to that epic 5th game. We'll see.